As it gets cold this fall and winter, you may be looking for a place to take your toddler where they can play indoors. And so let's check out this new Kids Empire. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda out here next to Kids Empire in Mundelein, Illinois. This is actually a fairly new facility here, but Kids Empire is all over the country. And, you may be cooped up inside your house, especially if you're here in the Midwest. Starting in the fall here, it's not easy to go outside. And if you do get a nice break in the weather, going out to a playground is usually waterlogged, soaked, it's dirty, it's nasty. And so indoor playgrounds like this are great, but you may have a toddler, maybe 1, 2, 3 years old. And some of these places are really geared for older kids with really big playgrounds, but Kids Empire has an area for toddlers specifically. So let's check it out, see if my boy likes it. As soon as you enter, they have a nice little welcome desk there with a friendly staff person. There's a little AstroTurf area where the kids can take off their shoes because you're going to need to wear only socks. Now, in terms of pricing, they did offer me a day pass for $20 for my kid. But you can see here, if you buy the punch card, you get 10 admissions for $159. So that's $16 a visit. And especially if you're going to take them over the winter, it's definitely a good deal to get that 20% off. And then you get this swipeable punch card. And one of the things that I noticed here is that it says it is valid at all Kids Empire locations. So if you're going on a trip or traveling and they have a location somewhere else, then this is going to be really convenient as a place that they'll be familiar with. The other thing that I will say is that 2 adults get in for free with each kid. Once you pay for admissions, you can grab one of these little bins or kind of like your storage container bins, throw in your shoes, your jacket, anything that you don't want to take in. And then I just left it on the ground. You might have to search a little bit on your way out because they do move around. Here is a view from the toddler area. One thing to note is they do have a place where you can buy concessions. I saw bottled coffees and pops and some snacks. They have a number of tables where the adults can sit. I didn't notice any free Wi-Fi particularly, but this location is right next to an LA Fitness, so I just logged on to their network. And they also have these little plastic motorcycles. I don't know where they came from, and they seem to roam around a lot, but they were in the toddler area, so my toddler played with it a little while. A couple things that I want to say that I really liked about this toddler area over other indoor playgrounds in my area is, one, it seemed to be much bigger. Some of the other places seem to bias themselves towards the bigger playgrounds. That's where the moneymaker is apparently, and a lot of the toddler areas are very small. This one is actually fairly big with a number of little structures like gym mat material, things that they could climb up on with steps like this, and then they have little slides on the side. And these were perfect for Theo because he just can't take a really big slide. And so just going down a few feet was more than entertaining for him. He really enjoyed that. And because they're so soft and plush, I didn't have to worry about him kind of falling or falling into them. The other thing that I really liked about this over some of the other ones that have more of like a foam floor, this one also has that mat material on the floor. Now, I wouldn't want to do a flip and land on it, but it's much softer than some of the other areas. And so when my toddler fell or was sliding on those little structures down to the floor, I didn't have to worry about him kind of impacting it and hitting his head and knocking himself out. They also had a very big ball pit. There is one entrance on one side that you can access from the main area, and then there's an entrance on the back that you can only get to through this little hallway of activities. And I would say that an adult can probably get all the way through there, but they probably don't want people of full size and full weight to climb through there. But if you're going to send your kid back there, he's going to be in an area that is behind a netting all the way from one end of the toddler area to the other end where they come out. So just kind of keep that in mind if they start to freak out or have to be claustrophobic or something like that. Now, the other thing I would say is that they play a lot of music. My toddler loved it. They will absolutely play it very loudly, so you kind of drown out the kids screaming and a lot of the ambient noise, but it actually can be a little bit loud. Not overly loud where I felt like he should be wearing earmuffs or anything like that, but if you're going to be sitting around and talking with other adults, just keep in mind that there's a lot of music, and if you don't want to dance to it, it might be a little hard to carry on a pleasant conversation while sitting at one of the tables. The other thing I want to mention here is that toddler areas on some places have a door that locks them in. This one does not. It's just an open space so the toddler can go in and out as they please. So it's one of those things where you might just want to keep an eye on your kid to make sure that they don't roam out or roam too far. Unlike some of the other areas that will have like a corral door that just snaps closed and will keep the toddlers inside until you let them out. So this place might need a little bit more of an alert parent than some of the other places. I definitely think this would be a great place to take a couple of kids to have a play date so they can play by themselves. My toddler was having a great time by himself, but I played with him a lot of the times to introduce him to some of the toys and some of the play structures, but especially in the back where they have a tunnel and then a second level above that where they can kind of crawl behind the netting. It's not obvious enough or inviting enough for him to figure that out on his own. There were some areas where he would explore, but I had to encourage him to go there. And like this steps to the ladder, he just wanted to come back down. He didn't understand to go down the slide. And there's really no way for an adult to get back there. So it's nice to have maybe a little older kid actually lead them through some of the structures. But it's a great place to go when the weather gets cold. And it's a pretty affordable place, and that pass will get you in all day long. So Kids Empire might be worth checking out. I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out!
We can discover more and explore so much deeper.